I've been looking at the information on selective services and drafts that they're talking about doing in 2025 with young males between the ages of 18 and 26. And these are just my quick thoughts on that. In a nation where they put everything above young males, right? In a nation where they put everything above your males because of how history has played out. So you have women's rights and they get put on a pedestal, and you got LGBT rights, and you got immigration and minorities rights, and everybody else. Everything is just so vast that you undermine your men. No nation can survive that way. That is evident of a declining nation. A nation that undermines its men is a nation that's asking for rebellion. Because your men, and this has nothing to do with race, because I already know people are going to try to align this with something. This is anywhere. Your men, that's your heartbeat. Your men, those are the people who are going to protect you. Those are the people that are going to build for the next generation. Obviously, our women, they birth the seed, they birth the child, and they have their role. But I'm just talking about, this draft that they're talking about doing. You undermine the men, and you think that they're going to fight for you. And I'm talking about the nation. Get the feminists to fight. Get the LGBT to fight. Right? Ask them to fight. Don't come and gather up all of the young guys. So regardless of however you want to look at, let's just go a little bit further. Regardless of your opinion on equality or equity or, society, whatever. If you undermine, listen, the men, the power source, the people who are going to go out and build streets, build homes, build communities, and create a lane, a view, a future for their children, you don't undermine that group because you're going to consistently need them. And that is a recipe for disaster, because now you have these same young black males, these same young white males who have isolated into little subcategories, little groups, and they're just in those groups disassociating from the world. Now, if you think you're going to come into their community or their little group and think you're going to gather the majority of these guys for selective service, man, you better be ready. That's all I'm going to say. You better be ready for a fight, because this isn't 9/11. This isn't 2001, where we were in a point in history where the attacks happened and they bombarded the airwaves with propaganda and weapons of mass destruction and all of this nonsense. This is a whole nother time. And you've undermined it. You've undermined your young males. You've pushed them to the side. They're underpaid. They are the least married group. They can't afford dates. They don't go out. They're virgins. They're incels. They have low sperm count. More than any other time in, the last at least the last few hundred years. And you think that group of men is going to fight for you? Their women don't respect them. They're no longer the head of the household. Patriarchy is dying. And you think that group is going to fight for you? Man, that group is mad as hell. They don't have a future. They're not going to be able to afford any homes. They're not having kids. They're starting their lives later and later because they can't afford it, regardless of the group. And this is the reality that we're in. And this is some of the stuff that I was talking about in 2020. I told y'all, prepare yourself for more progression, more equity. Let's just call it that. I told y'all. Now look. Now you have taken the lifeline, the blood source out of America, which is its young men, its future, the people who are going to build the future. It's not these old people. They're on their way out. You don't undermine them. That's how they are motivated to go fight for you. That's how they're motivated to go and be a protector and be a leader. They're not going to be a leader or be a protector when they don't have the means to do so. They don't have the resources to do so. They can't protect. The women disrespect them. They're not having kids. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. And you think, I don't care what race, that these young American boys are about to go quietly, these millennials and stuff. Oh my God, I can't wait to see this. I cannot wait to see this. I can't wait to see it. Listen, Gen Zs are abandoning white nationalism. They're incels. They're not about to go fight for you. Are y'all serious? That just shows whoever came up with this, they're not very in touch with reality. These dudes are passport bros and are incels. They're abandoning the American dream. They're going to other countries and mixing their seed with other people who are not white nationalists. They're saying, fuck it. You stripped their masculinity away. You done stripped all of their dignity. Now you want them to fight for you. But you should have thought about that while you were supporting every movement and propping up every movement. What is the bloodline of a nation? It's its men. It's the workers. It's the people who are going to build and buy. You feel what I'm saying? I'll tell you one thing. I can't wait to see this. It's going to be a whole lot of corruption during this cycle or whatever happens with this era. You think zillennials? Come on, man. Like, you people must have done lost y'all mind if you think that zillennials about to just fight for y'all and go out. And if you think that they're going to go out without a fight, if you think that they go out and it's not going to be a fuss, man, you got another thing coming. And then that's going to produce another story. Out of that story, they're going to out of that situation and the lack of people who actually want to go into the military, they're going to create another story out of that. Going to manipulate the story and make it about people being, spoiled or entitled or whatever the case may be. They're going to flip it then. Be like, oh, you should want to fight for your country. And then they're going to start just drafting, more than likely, people, your poorest, the poorest, most disenfranchised, you know what I mean? Because that's how it's going to go. Your poor whites, blacks, poor Mexicans, I mean, your Mexicans and all of your poor people. The people, the corporations, and the people that are involved in this bloody initiative, they not gonna put their kids in the war. They're gonna make sure their children are not in harm's way. They're gonna be exempt for whatever reason. It's going to be the working class, the people who break their backs for this nation, who have to die for it. And now, instead of that just being, a group of men who were content, because they knew they were going home to their beautiful wives in a nice house, they don't have house. This is another generation. These kids don't have houses. They're not going to be able to afford houses. What are they coming home to? They're not getting married. And all of the initiative that a young man would have to fight and want to protect his nation at this point is gone. So I don't want to hear no boomers and shit talking about what they should do, because this is a whole nother time period, and I don't even think you guys understand. I know I got members in my family who are still trying to live the old way. You can't live that way anymore. We cannot live that way anymore. This is what we're living, what's going on is a byproduct of late stage crony capitalism. That's what this is. That's all I got right now. Chaziel.